I took my coworkers out for drinks, only to realize I didn't have enough money to cover the tab. Final part. It all started 6 months ago. I was leaving work late when I saw a guy sprawled out in the middle of the street, using a city bike as a blanket. It was hilarious. Being terminally online, I had to take a video, but when I got closer, damn, what a face. Too bad he was wasted, reeking of alcohol. He was muttering about being thirsty. I took out my water bottle and poured him a cup. He was surprisingly obedient, gulping it down. I tried to wake him up. Hey, you can't sleep on the street. Where's your phone? I'll call your friends. He ignored me, snoozing away on the asphalt. I had no choice but to pat him down. Found his legs were incredibly long, like model long. I found his phone, unlocked it with Face ID, easy when they're asleep, and FaceTimed the first contact on his list. I pointed the camera at his face. Hello? This phone's owner is sleeping on the street. If you're his friend, come get him. The guy on the other end didn't even ask for a location. He just screamed, back away from him. 5 feet. Now. I thought he was worried I was going to rob the hot guy. I scoffed. Relax, I'm not interested in drunks. I'm sending you the location. Hurry up. The guy yelled again, do not ignore me, unless you want to die. Psycho. I hung up. Then I sat on the curb to guard the guy. He decided my thigh was a better pillow than the bike. He slept like a baby under the moonlight. 10 minutes later, the friend arrived and looked at us like he was seeing a ghost. I swore, look, I didn't touch him inappropriately. As soon as I spoke, the guy shifted. He wrapped his arms around my waist and buried his face in my stomach, treating me like a body pillow. I couldn't pry him off. I pulled his ear. Hey, wake up. Your friend is here. Let go. He didn't budge. I looked at the friend. Help me out here. I can't move his arms. The friend stood 5 feet away, refusing to move. I was pissed. Why are you just standing there? He said, I don't want to die. Me? What? 3. The guy explained he wasn't a friend, but a bodyguard. He pulled his car up, parking exactly 5 feet away. You have to get him into the car. Are you sick? He's your boss, not mine. I called you out of the goodness of my heart, and now I have to do the heavy lifting? The bodyguard refused to help. He stood there with his arms crossed. I was furious. I took it out on the drunk guy, dragging him like a sack of potatoes. The bodyguard, probably afraid I'd damage the merchandise, finally stepped forward to help. Suddenly, the man who was dead to the world sprang up. Faster than I could blink, he pulled a Swiss Army knife from his belt. He shoved me behind him and slashed at the bodyguard in one fluid motion. The speed, the aggression. If the bodyguard hadn't dodged, there would have been blood. I stared, jaw on the floor. What the hell? The bodyguard was back at the 5-foot mark, smiling awkwardly. See? That's why I didn't help. When the boss is drunk, no one can get close. His defense mechanism is extreme. I touched my neck instinctively. Okay, I'm out. But the drunk guy just put the knife away and rested his heavy head on my shoulder, falling back asleep. Me? The bodyguard was baffled. You are the only person I've ever seen get close to him when he's like this. Are you blind? He's leaning on me. I wanted to cry. So what do we do? You have to put him in the car and drive him home. Can you drive? Ideally, yes. In practice, maybe? Please. Are you guys pranking me? Why only me? What about his parents? His parents died a long time ago. He only has a grandfather, and even he can't get close. This was insane. I had to use every ounce of strength to wrestle a 6 feet 2 inches man into a car and then drive him home. Afterward, the bodyguard added me on WeChat, saying he might need me again. Get lost. Never again. He transferred me $5,000. I immediately typed back, my pleasure. Call me anytime. But this is the rate every time. For 2 weeks later, late at night, the bodyguard sent me 5,000. Miss Lynn, emergency. Please come. Location sent. I followed the GPS to the most exclusive club in the city. I opened the door to the VIP room and saw several powerful-looking men knocked out cold on the floor. Paramedics arrived and wheeled them all out. The only one left was Luke Vance, holding his Swiss Army knife, backed into a corner, eyes bloodshot and scanning the room for threats. Honestly, he looked like a demon ready to kill. I didn't dare approach him. My legs were shaking. I tried to return the money. Nope. Can't do it. The bodyguard immediately sent another 50,000. Understood. Danger pay. Is this enough? I didn't mean that. But 50 grand. I'm just a corporate slave. I cannot say no to 50 grand. So, I walked up to him, gently patted his shoulder. Hey, don't kill me. Put the knife down. I really didn't expect him to listen. He looked at me with blurry eyes for a long moment, then folded the knife away. Then he swayed and collapsed right into my arms. Poof! He was heavy. I lost my balance and we both went down. Luckily, right before we hit the floor, he twisted his body and became a human cushion. I landed softly on top of him. The VIP room smelled like expensive whiskey and spilled champagne. Luke's chest was warm under my palms, his steady heartbeat thrumming against my cheek. His eyes were half closed, the sharp lines of his jaw softened by the alcohol, and for a second, he looked less like the terrifying demon everyone talked about and more like a lost kid. I pushed myself up, grunting at his weight, and tried to shake him awake. Hey, Luke, come on, big guy. We gotta get you out of here. He mumbled something incoherent, his fingers tightening around the back of my shirt like a lifeline. His breath fanned my neck, smoky, sweet, with a hint of the tequila he'd been knocking back, and I felt my face heat up. The bodyguard, who'd been hovering by the door like a nervous shadow, stepped forward cautiously. Miss Lynn, do you need help? I can, stand guard while you drag him to the car? I shot him a glare. Drag him? He's 6'2" and built like a brick wall. You think I can drag him alone? The bodyguard winced. Last time I tried to lift him, he broke my wrist. No offense. None taken. I'd seen Luke's temper firsthand. I sighed, brushing a strand of hair off Luke's forehead. His skin was hot to the touch, like he had a fever. Fine. Hand me his keys. I'll drive. You just make sure we don't get stopped by the cops. The bodyguard bodyguard practically threw the keys at me, like they were burning his hand. It took 10 minutes of grunting, pulling, and a lot of colorful language to get Luke into the backseat of his Maybach. He slumped against the leather, his head lolling to the side, and stared at me with those hazy, blue eyes. "You're pretty," he mumbled, reaching up to poke my cheek. I swatted his hand away, my face burning hotter. "Don't flirt with me when you're wasted. You'll regret it tomorrow." He pouted. "Why? I mean it. You're prettier than the chandeliers at the club." I snorted. Wow, high praise, coming from a guy who thinks city bikes make good blankets. He giggled, a sound so unexpected, so soft, that I froze. I'd never heard him laugh before. All the stories about him snapping arms and sending people to the hospital, all the rumors about his hyper-defensive instincts, and here he was, giggling like a schoolgirl because I'd teased him about the bike incident. The bodyguard cleared his throat from the front seat. His place is the penthouse on 5th Avenue. I'll text you the code for the elevator." I nodded, starting the car. The Maybach purred to life, smooth and quiet, like it was afraid to wake the beast in the backseat. Luke leaned his head against the window, watching the city lights blur past, and suddenly, he said, "Why do you put up with me?"